So often we talk about mindfulness for ourselves, and more I've been trying to bring you tips about how we can teach mindfulness to our kids and help them to use mindfulness to reduce their stress, because we know that anxiety and stress is the sister of autism. It goes along with them everywhere. So our tip for today is that it's so hard to not do something. I was saying the other day, I hate it when somebody says to a kid, quiet hands. I don't even know what that means. But it bugs me because they're telling a child not to do something. Don't do that. Well, okay, but it's really hard to not do something. It's much easier to do something else, right? So when we say to a kid, calm down, right? It's like, how do you calm down? I'm about to be 55. I don't know how to calm down. But if you say to me, breathe, then, it's the same. I know you're saying the same thing. I know you're saying calm down to me, but I have something to do, which is to take a breath, which is actually more helpful. Now, for everyone, saying breathe isn't helpful, right? Everybody has different things that help them, but giving them something to do as opposed to telling them, stop doing this, right? You see where I'm going with this. So one of the great things we can do with our kiddos is to give them an area of their body to focus on. We see our kids doing things like this, and this serves a purpose for them. And for some kids, this serves the purpose of helping to calm them down. For other kids, they like to see the colors that this creates, right? They've already put the focus of what they were feeling in their hands, but let's give them something more productive. So one suggestion that folks have found is having them concentrate on the soles of their feet. Why the soles of their feet? Well, because we're all the soles of our feet are pretty, on the map of our brain of how much space things take up, the soles of our feet are pretty predominant. They're same as our lips, but the soles of our feet are a little bit more private, and we can put our mind's eye there fairly quickly. And if we start wiggling our toes, the people across the room probably aren't going to notice as much. As opposed to us, doing things with our lips or pushing on our lips, right? So the soles of the feet tend to be pretty reactive, and we can visualize them pretty well because they take up a lot of space in our brain. And if you can access feet fairly well, especially with a small child. So you can ask them, think about your feet and close your eyes, and I want you to picture your feet, and you can massage their feet or tickle their feet while they're doing it. You don't want to take them off their focus, but you can lightly just touch them for a little bit of a tickle and get them to concentrate on their feet. One of the things that research has found is that for kids, especially who are having a lot of anger issues, that if we can start to work with them this way and then even get them to self-massage their feet when they're little, that as they get older, that if we say to them, take a breath and visualize the soles of your feet, that it becomes a way that they can kind of take that angry feeling and put it in the soles of their feet. That might make their feet feel hot or even a little bit itchy, but it's a lot more productive than being angry and have that go out. It helps them to regulate themselves. It can be a much better place to put it. And if you think about it, a lot of times when we get angry, it all goes to our shoulders, right? Or people clench their fists, which can look aggressive to other people. But if they're clenching their toes and they're feeling it in their bottom of their feet, a lot of times nobody else will notice it. So it's a really interesting way of looking things, but I think ideal to start with very little kids. If you've got an older kid that you want to do this with, I would start it at home or in a comfortable situation where you're sitting on the floor and you take the shoes off and either massage their feet or have them do a self-massage of their feet and be thinking about their feet while they're there. And so that you're doing this at a neutral time when they're not having feelings, but then we can start to introduce ideas about when they're upset to massage their feet. For a small kid who doesn't have receptive language, when when they're feeling frustrated, like maybe you've got the kid in the car seat and they're pumping their feet, that can be a time to gently either tickle or massage the feet so that and you'll see that it kind of de-escalates the situation, right? So that eventually we can prompt them when they have enough receptive language to massage their feet. I knew a little boy once that every time he would go to sleep, he would, touch his feet, and then he would fall over and go to sleep. It was the cutest thing, but that was what was very calming to him. Feet tend to be very tied to, if they're being massaged, calming. With an older kid, who's got more receptive language, you can jump right to that and say, first, we're just going to work on massaging our feet, but when you're feeling angry, I want you to think of the bottom of your feet. And for some people, it's effective to think of putting whatever the feeling is in their feet. For other people, it's more effective to say, think of pushing that feeling out of your feet, or think of having it go there and then massaging it out. And you can either massage it if it's appropriate, or just mentally be thinking about it. Soles of the feet. It can be a really awesome way to be mindful.